Recording. Heyo, welcome to Outside the Ring. I am here with my guest, the man, FRO, AKA D-Ray3000.
The FRO is with the Awoken Gamer. What's up?
What's up, FRO?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off by asking, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Ready to get back to it, man. You know, everything's been going on, a lot of stuff been locked down, but now it's time to get back to wrestling, get back to what we know and love. Yeah.
I saw that LPW is starting up this Saturday. Are you going there?
Well, you know what? You never know when the FRO might show up. You know, I got a lot of things coming up I can't talk about right now. But one thing I do got coming up I can talk about is next Saturday, March 19th at the Copeland Center in Wyandotte, Michigan, BCWA. I'm definitely going to be there to handle some business. Now, as far as everywhere else the FRO might show up, you just never know.
Yeah. So, what? I saw that you wrestle in a lot of promotions. Are you currently holding any like championships? Like besides the LPW one, because you just lost it because Tim Horner's like guest referee and everything.
Yeah. I lost that one. But yeah, currently right now I still hold 2 championships, you know, and I'm looking for some more wrestling jewelry. But the thing is, things been locked down, things starting to get back opened up and move again. So I'm looking to put some more wrestling jewelry around the FRO's waist. And I'm coming back, believe me. The ones I have lost, I'm going to get them back eventually. I can tell you that much.
Never underestimate the FRO.
No. Big mistake when you do that.
Yeah. So, what like inspired you to become a wrestler?
That's one I haven't been asked before, usually in an interview. What inspired me to be a pro wrestler, you know what, when I was a kid, I used to watch wrestling with my cousins. They were older than me, you know, and I was their, beat up dummy, I guess you could say. And I would get upset. Like, turn this off. I want to watch cartoons. You know, but I always liked it. But the first time I went to a wrestling event was a WWF house show. You know, I was 9 years old and I just fell in love with it. Just the spectacle of it all, everything about it. You know, I just fell in love with it. That's what it took for me to fall in love with it, because I watched it on TV. I thought it was cool. But after the first time I actually went to a wrestling event, that was it. That's what I wanted to do. That's all I thought about since then. And it's been like that ever since.
Yeah, I started watching WWE like August of 2020. That's when it was like pre like pandemic
Okay.
and everything.
Okay.
And they had like the Thunderdome.
Okay, yeah.
But the first like live wrestling event I came to, believe it or not, was LPW. Like 20,
that's when you saw the FRO
20,
right?
It was before you were FRO. It was like you were D-Ray3000.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
I actually have something, like one of the posters from like the first one we went to. I don't know where it is, but it has like your D-Ray3000 signature on it.
Yeah.
And we have a ornament from when they were handing those out, and you signed the back of it.
One of the Christmas show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Cool. Yeah. That's good to hear. You know, a lot of people in LPW, a lot of the fans, they don't dig the FRO, but that's okay. Like me or hate me, when they leave, they're going to realize that the FRO came and did his thing. You know?
Yeah.
Like me or hate me, they definitely gonna remember me.
Yeah. I remember when you beat Superman Lover for the LPW
No.
title.
You said that wrong. Superman Loser.
Oh yeah, my bad.
That's how you say his name.
Superman Loser.
Loser.
When you beat him for the title,
Yeah.
me, my dad, and like my sisters are like on like the right side of the ring. And I remember my dad like lost it. He was like mad. He's like, come on. He didn't want you to win that title. But
Too bad.
yeah.
Too bad. You can
Too
go tell
bad.
your dad that guess what? I'm gonna upset him again because I'm gonna get that back. I don't know if it's gonna be this weekend or the next LPW live event, but the Fro gun. I don't forget things or let things go lightly. Tell your dad that.
Sure will do.
Yeah.
You should have retained the LPW title.
Yeah,
Tim
I will.
Horner screwed you.
Yeah, well, you know what? Karma is something else. What comes around goes around. Yeah. Remember that.
Yeah.
Because I'm only getting started. Believe me, I'm doing a whole lot of stuff, preparing, getting things ready. And when the time is right, I'm on a strike.
Yeah. What is your favorite match that you've been in?
It's been a lot. I've been wrestling for a long time. I've been wrestling longer than you've been alive. That's a tough one right there. One of my favorite matches that I've been in. I've had matches, I've had moments in matches that I absolutely love. Now I know you're a young wrestling fan, but do you know who Terry Funk is?
Yes, I've heard of him.
All right, well, the legendary Terry Funk, you know what? Look him up. When you get done with all this, look up who Terry Funk is. I was fortunate enough to wrestle with Terry Funk, and that was a highlight to me of my career. As far as favorite matches, I've had a bunch of matches that I thought were really good that I consider favorites. I remember one match that I still consider a favorite match of mine, and this was maybe 2002. It was in downtown Pensacola, Florida, at the NAS Navy base, and it was me versus a guy named Stone Cold Steve Fury in a ladder match. And to this day, that's still one of my favorite matches, But I've had a lot of good matches. I got a lot of favorite matches that I've had. I really can't narrow it down just to one, because I can go on and on and on against moments I've had. I mean, I had a lot of good matches that are memorable to me in TNA. When I went to Japan and wrestled for Smash, those matches were some of my favorite matches. It's a lot. It's a lot. When the Fro Gun first showed up on the scene at LPW, in a blindfold match against that another chump, Kenny Urban.
Yeah, I was there for that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's so many. It's so many. I really can't narrow it down just to one. I mean, I would have to do maybe like a top 10 or something like that. But just one, that's too hard to do. That's just too hard to do. I've had a lot of great moments, a lot of great matches, but just to narrow it down to one, I can't just narrow it down to one.
Yeah.
What was your favorite match you saw? The Fro Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you remember?
I haven't been to an LPW show in a hot minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one for D-Ray and one for the Fro Gun.
Okay.
D-Ray would probably have to be a tag team match. It was like you, Movado, and Mackenzie versus the 450 boys.
Okay, yeah. I remember that. I remember that one. What
And
about the FRO gun?
For the FRO gun, I have two. One, the first one, seeing you beat Superman Loser for the LPW title.
Oh, those are all good times, beating him down.
And the other one was probably you versus Kenny Urban, like when he beat Superman Loser to face you for that LPW title.
Okay, yeah. Those was good matches. You know, those are some good ones you picked. I mean, there's so many. It's hard just to see. Even you can't just have one. It is hard just to pick one.
Yeah.
You know.
When you've been wrestling for a long time, you've been through so many matches, so many moments.
Yeah, it's probably matches that I forgot about, that were really good moments to me, But yeah, I've been wrestling for a long time, long time. I started wrestling in 2000. That's how long it's been that I've been a pro wrestler. Think about that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, long time. And I still got a lot in the tank. I still got many years to go. I feel like I'm only getting started right now.
Yeah, going back through like your YouTube channel you have, I didn't know you fought for like WWE under, well, I think it was like Vigo.
Yeah. Vico Batamango.
Yeah.
That right there, I wouldn't consider a favorite. It was a moment, but I wouldn't say it was a favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that a lot of people like to throw in my face. But you can't win them all.
Yeah, just go out there, do what you do best. Who is someone that you would like to wrestle in the future?
Anybody. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
That's a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's still wrestling though. That's wrestling now.
Yeah.
Okay. Dolph Ziggler. I would like to have a match with him. Actually, you know what's funny? One of my times up at WWE, I was actually, you get in the ring and practice and stuff beforehand, and I was actually practicing with him, and this is when he first started with the Spirit Squad, But he's definitely come a long way. I'd like to be able to wrestle him. That'd be cool. See, a lot of, guys I would like really wish I could have a match with would be guys that I grew up watching that's not wrestling anymore. If I could wrestle, with Mr. Perfect and, and in his prime, or Shane Douglas in his prime, or do you know who the Great Muta is?
Great Muta? No.
Keishimoto. Okay. Look these names up that I've mentioned. If I could wrestle them in their prime, I know you know who the Macho Man is, right?
Yeah. I bought my dad a Funko Pop for Christmas one year.
Cool. If I could wrestle him in his prime. Guys today, a lot of the guys that you see,
really come a long way.
Yeah, and I've crossed paths with a lot of them, wrestled them before, you know, or know him and train with him before. So, but the guys that I wish I could, you know, that really, really have a match with are the ones that I grew up watching and admire. But guys today, like Dolph Ziggler, I think that'd be a good match. Man, I really got to think about that. Mm. The New Day. I don't know if I could wrestle with those guys. That'd be kind of cool, you know. Damn, you know, I think I could have a good match with a lot of guys that you see on, you know, on TV now. You know, one of the last matches I had before all the Kizovic 19 broke down was with Justin Maine and Colt Cabana. That was a real good match, you know, and that was at BCWA. You know, that's the one coming down in Wyandotte, Michigan, March 19th. You know, I got to show up and handle some business there. But it's a lot of people, man. I mean, it's a lot of people. I mean, it would be a long list, you know. But let me ask you this: who would you most want to see the FRO run wrestle? Anybody, if you could pick them. Yeah, that's a hard one, ain't it?
Yeah.
Where would you imagine this match taking place? Would it be in you know, other than where you've seen me before? Would it be in an AEW? Would it be in a WWE? Would it be in a NWA? You know, where would you imagine this taking place?
WWE. I'm just trying, maybe. Or we could switch over to AEW and maybe you versus Jeff Hardy. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to think.
Jeff is cool. He's all right.
WWE probably.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Maybe like Randy Orton. I'm just trying to think of people that have been doing it for
Okay.
a long time that can have like great like good matches.
Randy would be cool. That'd be cool. But hey, you never know, man. That's one thing about wrestling. Things change on the drop of a dime. You know, I mean, one guy could, you know, be wrestling that you could see on the indies, you know, 1 month, and a month later, 2 months later, he's on TV. You know, that happens. That definitely happens. So, you know, you never know what might happen with things to come. I mean, wrestling is so, you know, it changes so much. One thing I'm sure that you've heard is a lot of guys always say never, right?
Yeah.
That's so true, because you never know, you know, what could happen next week, next month, next year, you know. So, I mean, we talking about possible matches that might become a reality one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, what else you got?
How did you come up with the Frogun character?
Huh. I don't. Have you ever seen the movie The Last Dragon?
No.
Ask your pops about that one. It's an old school karate style, you know, action movie from the 1980s, you know, and there's a character, the bad guy, the main bad guy in that movie is the Shogun from Harlem. And it's basically based off of him, you know, and it's funny to me, and I've said this before, I am real surprised that nobody has really tried to do a wrestling gimmick like this, you know. So I mean, that's good for me, you know. I think that's great for me, but it's based off the main bad guy from The Last Dragon. So you could look that up too, you know. And then it'll probably give you a good laugh on the resemblance of how the FRO gun looks compared to the Shogun from Harlem in The Last Dragon. But that's where the motivation of that come from. I put my own little spin on it, of course. You know, I made it my own. It ain't like a total, I guess you say, copy of that character from the movie. But that's where that's from. That's where the whole FRO gun originated. The idea of it originated from.
Yeah. I think I read this in, I've either read this or seen this. Anyway, I've seen somewhere in an interview, somebody asked you how you came up with the D-Ray3000 character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a story in itself. And what did I say? A happy accident, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what it was. Like I told you, things in wrestling can change so much, and a lot of it can happen just naturally without even thinking about it. That was nothing planned. It just happened, you know, being at the right place at the right time, you know, and it just happened. A happy accident. The name, the whole coming out with the pick in the hair. I never done any of that before. Before TNA, I wasn't D-Ray3000. That just that happened naturally, organically there in the moment. It just happened. You know, I didn't know that was going to happen. I wasn't expecting all that to happen, but it did. And, you know, that's the cool thing about wrestling. And stuff just happens like that. And people dig it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. When it comes up with ideas and things, somebody can see somebody and say, hey, try this, try that. And you do it. And next thing you know, boom, it's something. You know, if you go look at a lot of the history of pro wrestling and stuff like that, you'll be surprised to find out how much stuff that's happened in the past with wrestlers and ideas that were just like, just spur of the moment, you know, things they threw out there and they took off, you know. So that's basically what that was. That's how D-Ray3000 came about, you know. So, I mean, I would like to see that happen more because you actually get to see, you know, that kind of creativity you cannot plan. You know, those kind of things that happen, natural, organic, you know, those feelings you cannot plan. Like one that comes to mind. Well, this is a while ago, but you may have seen this. Do you remember WrestleMania 18?
No.
Okay, check it out. The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. Have you ever seen that match from WrestleMania 18?
No, but I know who both of them are.
Okay, well, it wasn't the main event. It wasn't near the main event. You know, I don't know if they edited and put it there later, but if you watch that match and how the audience, the crowd responded to both of them, you would think you was watching the main event of that WrestleMania. It just happened naturally. They didn't even think that was going to happen. You know, it just happened. You know, that was just something that just organically manifested, and that's a beautiful thing. I love it when things like that happen. You know, that's one thing that's great about pro wrestling.
People can either cheer or boo.
Yeah, but that vibe, you got to see what I'm talking about. Go check that out. That's your homework for tonight. You know, go look up, you know, WrestleMania 18, The Rock versus Hogan, and then you tell me what you thought of that. You wrote it down?
Yep.
All right. But yeah, that's what, back to what we were talking about. But the same thing with the whole D-Ray thing. When I showed up to TNA, the only thing on my mind was just thinking, well, at least I could say I had, you know, a dark match with TNA wrestling. You know, and it just turned into something that I didn't expect, and I don't think anybody else did either. You know, so that's how that all came about.
You've been through 3 gimmick changes. You did.
Oh, I've been through a lot more than 3.
Oh,
But
well,
I mean, as far as where you started, you could, yeah, from where you started seeing, when you got into wrestling, it probably
yeah.
was 3 at that time.
D-Ray, Frogun, and then scrolling through YouTube on like LPW's thing, I remember seeing Righteous Maker Rick Baker.
Yeah, the Righteous Maker Rick Baker. That was just me wanting to be just, change it up, because I was D-Ray3000 for so long, and when you do a certain type of wrestling gimmick for so long,
It's
people
boring
think,
after a while.
yeah, well, not just that, people just think that that's all you are capable of doing.
They want
And
something
so,
new.
yeah, I wanted something new, something different, something to just change the perspective and the point of view of, how I was looked at in the wrestling industry and by the fans too. So I came up with, um, the Righteous Maker Rick Baker, which was a more, serious wrestler, type gimmick. And it worked. It went well for a while. I got the attention of WWE. I went up to WWE with it, but it didn't, pan out. But then at the same time, I said to myself, okay, I like doing this, but I noticed I could find 20 other guys that looked just like me when I was the Righteous Maker Rick Baker. Yeah. So I didn't feel like I was standing out enough. So I needed to do something, that helped me stand out. One thing I was standing out was as D-Ray3000. Even though people looked at that as, oh, that's only could be silly, oh, that can only be funny, that can, but I had to, change the perspective. And so went back to that for a while, thought that was cool, but then it just was missing something. It didn't have that edge, it didn't have that bite, it didn't have that kind of worlds collide of where you could have that fine line between, oh man, edge of your seat wrestling and something to, think is hilarious, or just outrageous. I mean, some of the best wrestlers you could think of or we could bring up, they rode that fine line of, wow, this guy's an amazing wrestler, but at the same time, oh, he's just so outrageous, you can't look away. That's what I want to create with the whole, before I even thought of just the FRO gun, but I wanted something like that. And I think I accomplished that because since I've been doing the FRO gun, I think it's been great. Things was going real good. Things were starting to take off, but then the kids over at 19, stopped a lot of things for a lot of people. But you know what? That ain't gonna stop me. I ain't gonna let that stop me. And then I hope a lot of other people ain't gonna let them stop them. And you see everything starting to get back to what it used to be. And it's not just gonna get back to what it used to be, but better.
Better than ever.
That's right. That's right. So that's what was my whole idea, thinking of something that could be like that. And I think the FRO gun is that perfectly.
Heading to your match with Mannix, like fighting like mini Mannix.
Yeah. What about, you mean the mini Mannix or Mannix?
Mini. Like before when he said he wasn't allowed like Fremont, he was doing stuff in Michigan or something.
Yeah. Well, mini Mannix, that definitely got the attention of an Austin Mannix, but things at the end didn't work in my favor because I did get screwed by Tim Horner. But I'm not done with all that business. I got a lot of stuff going on, like I told you, and I'm building, I'm making plans, and I'm telling you, you never know when the FRO gun might show up.
Never know when, where.
Right. That's right. But I'm gonna right all the wrongs. That's what I'm gonna do first. And then I'm gonna be the most shining pro wrestler out there because I'm gonna have all the wrestling jewelry. I'm gonna get back everything I had and some. I'm going to be walking to the ring 100 pounds heavier because it's going to be full of championships.
Oh, that was going in a different direction for a second. That's with
What?
hold on, with like Horner not letting you use kendo stick, like those kendo sticks, but he let Mannix and he saw it, and not only did he do that, but he used Tim Horner's own finisher.
Well, it ain't over with. I'm not done with him. I'm not done with Austin Mannix. I'm not done with a whole lot of things. There's just that stuff was put on the back burner. But I ain't forgetting, and I'm not done. You know, so like I told you, never know when the FRO gun might show up in LPW. You know, so everybody should watch out because it might just happen this weekend. It could happen the next event or the one after that. Or it might happen on the street before the event even starts, you know, because the FRO gun get down wherever he needs to. You know, if that's in the ring, on the street, or wherever, you know. But I guarantee you this, I'm coming for everything, all the wrestling jewelry that was taken from me, LPW or anywhere else. So you can tell all your fans a Woken Gamer that. What else you got for me? Besides LPW, what other wrestling stuff do you go to? Have you been to any other wrestling events other than LPW?
No, because like I said, when I started watching WWE, it was like pre-pandemic. And I just recently started watching like AEW, like within the past month. Within like the past like month or two, I started watching AEW. So
yeah. Okay. But as far as live wrestling, it's been LPW.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that, because LPW, they one of the hottest things around. I could tell you that. You know, so you lucky to be, you know, close enough to one of the hottest promotions in the Midwest.
Well, that's all I had for you.
Okay, cool. All right, Woken Gamer, it's been cool, but like I told you, you never know when the FRO gun might show up, because I got a lot of plans, a lot of things coming up I don't want to let out right now. I want to keep them things secret, but I could tell you this: Saturday, March 19th, the FRO gun is going to show back up in BCWA in Wyandotte, Michigan at the Copeland Center. That's for sure, because I'm coming to handle my business.
You heard it here, folks. Saturday, March 19th. I'll put stuff down in the description, even do some FRO Guns matches and his YouTube channel if you want to stop by there. Well, it's an honor. It was an honor having you, FRO Gun.